if I wanted to do it later or tomorrow or whatever, I could.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, great idea.
That's a good idea.
And gonna need it.
So welcome everyone. Thank you all for coming. And thank you, Leora, for agreeing to do this with me. It's nice to have a partner this time around. Hopefully next year we can do this in person in the shul. I think that'd be a lot of fun, but for this year, we'll do it this way. And like I said, very informal, leave yourselves unmuted, feel free to jump in and share as we go along. So just a little brief history about Hamantaschen and where they came from, because it's sort of an interesting food and how it became part of our Purim tradition. Not surprisingly, just like pretty much every other Jewish holiday, Purim is centered around food. So which makes sense, right? The Megillah, they talk about Mishloach Manot and they talk about having all the feasts. So those two are sort of pretty clear cut where they came from. But this idea of having Hamantaschen is a little bit more obscure. So if you sort of looking through the history, it does sound like Hamantaschen were more of a non-Jewish cultural thing that the Jews then adopted for themselves, and then once they were already doing it, tried to figure out a way to explain how it ties into Purim. So just a couple of sources that I found. One goes back to like the 15th century. They had actually a Purim spiel, and it was, the whole idea was sort of a spoof that they had these cookies that literally looked like Haman's ears. They were fried, they were dipped in honey, and they were shaped like ears. And in the play, the Jews ate them as a celebration in commemoration of maybe this idea that they cut off Haman's ears before they hung him, which is interesting, but not actually mentioned anywhere in the Megillah. But that's actually not even what our Hamantaschen today are. The references, though, they were called Haman's ears, or this play was done in Italy, and the Italian word for it, I'm blanking on it was, but translated into Haman's ears. And in Hebrew, modern day Hebrew, they call Hamantaschen Ozne Haman, which also translates into Haman's ears. So that's the connection. But the cookies we eat now are actually totally unrelated and completely different in shape. What's probably the more likely origin of this is probably 18th century Europe. A very popular pastry went around, and it was a dough-filled pastry pocket with poppy seeds inside, much more similar to what has become our modern day Hamantaschen. And they actually they developed in Germany, and the German for them was called Mantaschen, which literally translates into poppy pockets. But once they became popular amongst the Jewish communities, it's not so far of a stretch to understand why Jews adopted this for Purim, because man sounds like Haman, and then they translated it. They sort of adjusted into Hamantash, which means in Yiddish, Haman became weak. And that was probably the origin of what are now modern day Hamantaschen that sort of evolved into different fillings. And in terms of the shape, the thinking is most likely they became triangles to replicate the shape of Haman's hat, which is, what we also learn in day school, that he wore a three-quartered hat. The question is, where does this idea come from? Also not mentioned in the Megillah. And again, the thinking is that this came from the Purim spiels during that time, that they depicted Haman wearing what at that time were the common hats, which were three-cornered hats. So just sort of a little interesting historical context for these. Yeah. Okay, now let's go ahead and make some. Leora, do you want to take it away? You want to unmute?
Just unmute.
Sure. Before I do that, is there anyone that has anything to say after the history? Any comments?
Bless you.
Okay. So just by show of hands, who is planning on making them right now? Okay.
Only me?
Well, okay, that's fine. So let me pull up the recipe. And this recipe is from my grandmother, who's actually on the meeting, Sapta, wave hi. So she could probably help with cutting it down. I forgot who asked.
Thank you. I did. Thank you.
I'm sure she could help you with that. So first step, I guess, wash your hands with soap and water.
That's a good one.
Especially now.
I was gonna make them along too, but I actually cheated and pre-made my dough because I find it easier to make Hamantaschen and cookies in general when the dough is cold and chilled. So I cheated a little bit, but I am gonna actually shape out the Hamantaschen.
Yeah, I also have the dough pre-made. Okay, so first we're gonna mix all the wet ingredients together in a bowl. So first start with beating 4 eggs in a bowl.
Leora, I'm gonna guess your grandmother, or she's on, she can tell us if she did this with an electric mixer or if she did it by hand. I feel like I'm totally spoiled.
Safta, unmute yourself so you can answer. Safta, unmute. Unmute yourself. Yeah.
There you go.
There.
Okay, I thought it gave nicht, but it does. Yes, okay. Yes. What's your question, Liorka?
Do you make these by hand? Do you mix everything by hand or do you use an electric mixer?
No, I do everything by hand because you really should not overwork the dough.
Okay.
For cookie doughs, you don't you don't overwork it. For yeast doughs, I use the beater. But Harry knows that better.
How about overworking the baker? So many familiar looking people. A große Mischproche. A große Mischproche.
Okay.
All right, what are we up to?
Just let us know when you're done beating the eggs.
Ellen, we're watching you.
Ellen also does it all by hand. I'm very impressed.
No, I'm following the instructions.
Okay.
I'm very good at following directions.
Are you using a whisk? What are you using to?
A whisk.
Okay.
You don't have to beat it that much.
Okay.
Okay.
Then
Okay.
You're not beating Haman, you're just beating those.
okay, then beat in the oil, 3/4 cup of oil.
Can I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
What is the reason use of oil as opposed to margarine? Part of margarine.
Question.
Well, we don't eat margarine anymore but the best would be butter, but of course it makes it milchig.
Right, right. Can you use olive oil?
I don't think so.
No.
Olive oil has a very distinctive
You want vegetable
taste.
oil.
Safflower oil would work?
Yeah, I think that would work.
Vegetable oil.
Okay, thank
Of course,
you.
sapphire, but
Okay, then the sugar, one
What about the vanilla?
cup of sugar.
The recipe I have actually calls for shortening, which is probably also very good, but also considered unhealthy. So
yeah. Actually, it comes out better with margarine.
Margarine is better than oil.
I'm sure.
margarine tastes better than oil?
Yeah.
I think it's a different.
Because it's like butter. It has the consistency of butter. It is.
How about coconut oil?
That I don't know. I never tried that.
Did you finish with the sugar?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Then one.
Actually, now that I think of it, I haven't done it for a while. That part I used to do in the beater. I just put.
Oh, now she does.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
It was.
After the vanilla, 3
Wait,
teaspoons
you never said
baking
vanilla.
powder.
You didn't do vanilla yet.
Okay.
1 cup of vanilla.
So how do you know what 1 cap is? Because some of them are really huge bottles, some are little bottles. So what'd you say about the amount is?
Half a teaspoon?
A half a teaspoon.
Okay.
Depends how much you like vanilla. I love vanilla.
And then 3 teaspoons of baking powder.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I thought the baking powder goes with the dry ingredients.
I'm not moving till you confirm.
Well, I think you're done with the wet ingredients.
Yeah, that's the wet ingredients.
You're done. So the flour and the baking powder.
I usually put the baking powder with the flour.
Okay,
Mix it.
Okay, well now we're up to the flour.
okay.
It says 5.5 cups approximately. I didn't use that much, so you might want to measure it out in a separate bowl and then gradually add it in.
Okay.
How much does this recipe make?
A lot.
A lot. Ellen, we're coming over for Hamantaschen.
While you're waiting, we saw a wonderful Purim spiel on YouTube with who's the Itzik Manger's version of a Purim spiel. It was in Yiddish with English subtitles. It's on YouTube. It was wonderful.
All right, I put 5 cups in the bowl, and
Okay.
I'll put a cup in, and then I'll put the baking powder in.
Okay.
Okay.
And then you also might want to preheat your oven to 350 at this point.
I would like to do that. Actually, I'll put in 2.
I wish I could go to Cleveland and do it in real life.
Yes, we wish you could too.
Where are you?
In New Jersey, snowy New
Oh,
Jersey.
gotta be in Cleveland too.
All right,
It was pretty snowy too.
so probably I need something besides a whisk.
Yeah, you're gonna, once you put the flour in, then start having to knead it with your hands.
Knead it as opposed to a spoon?
No, it's with a spoon, and when it gets the consistency of a dough, you can put it on the board and incorporate
Okay,
all the flours gently. It's not really a yeast dough, so you don't have to trap the air.
mm-hmm. So probably could have done the whole thing in the mixer.
That's
You
what
know,
I did.
you're right. You
Well,
know,
you're getting a good workout.
Good for your shoulder
Okay.
and your wrist.
I'm adding a 1/3 cup of flour.
It's good you're measuring, so you'll be able to tell us what you think.
Yeah.
You want a view of this? Ta-da.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Wow.
A little
I
liquid.
think that would feed the whole shul.
Well, I'm following your instructions here.
How many you think you would get out of this recipe? Like several dozen, like 5 dozen or something, like 60? That's what it seems.
I figure we live in an apartment building.
No.
I'll be there tomorrow to pick them up. Okay, Ellen?
He knows where I live. All right, I'm gonna add another cup, which will make 4, and then I'll put it out on the board. Because it's starting to shape up.
Oh, good.
Leora, is that about right? Do you think you used 4? Or
Yeah. And then once you can get it into a nice ball, then you'll be ready to shape them into the cookies. And while she's doing that, I thought maybe we can talk about some Hamantaschen topics, which I prepared. And I thought it'd be interesting to find out from everyone what is the craziest kind of Hamantaschen you've seen or eaten. So we could go around while she's kneading the dough and people can share their stories. So everyone could put their cameras on now. And you can just raise your hand when you're ready to share. Okay. Yes, Diane?
I made pizza Hamantaschens,
Oh,
and I also have used up leftover fruitcake fruit and made little mini fruitcake Hamantaschen, besides just the usual jams and nuts. And I've made peanut butter, chocolate chip also.
Oh, wow.
Sounds good.
As
Diane, you've hidden your talent all this time.
Pastrami? What is it?
brisket.
Pulled brisket Hamantaschen.
Oh my.
okay, Ezra, what did you have?
Yeah, we made chocolate and tahina Hamantaschen.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Interesting.
What are my Hamantaschen and the pulled brisket?
Does anyone else have any
Green
crazy
Road.
Hamantaschen they've seen or made?
Green
When
Road.
I
Pulled
was
brisket.
Just put up your hand so I can call on your name, so it's not everyone talking at once. Yes, Daddy.
when I was in Israel, I went into the Super Salt, and they had about a dozen different varieties. And some of the Hebrew I understood, some I didn't. So I took one of each and tried them all. But I think the most interesting one, I think, was tahina.
Okay. Anyone else? Sherry?
So we're traditionalists in our house. We like the poppy seed, and Howard likes the fruit. I really like the chocolate and poppy seed. But I have seen on many cook places and on Facebook, all the new young ladies are now making like sushi Hamantaschen. And I saw actually today the pastrami one. Everything looked amazing. So, and I've also seen people do with puff pastry. They do Osne Haman instead of the triangles. It's more like roundish.
Savta?
It's not crazy, but I come from Hungary, and in Hungary we always use the yeast dough to make the Hamantaschen.
Wow.
Use the what?
Miso.
Yeast
Yeast dough.
Oh,
Your mom goes for breakfast, the yeast dough one.
Does anyone else have anything they want to share? Any other flavors? Yes.
I've also seen a bunch of savory fun ones like like the Franks and Blankets one, but we're traditional. I'm going to be using raspberry and sometimes apricot, but the raspberry ones seem to get eaten faster, so I'll go with those.
All right, I think we've almost got a dough here.
Okay.
Nice.
Can you show us again, Ellen?
Sure.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Wow.
The thing is green, you can talk.
Oh, Ellen.
She's making.
Should we continue on, Ellen, or talk about more Hamantaschen? Do you need more time?
You're in charge. Tell me, you want me to roll it out at this point and start cutting little circles for the glass?
If you're ready.
I think it can be rolled.
Okay,
You
so
know,
I would cut it in half.
Okay. Yeah.
So that you're working with a smaller amount.
Good thinking. Should I put the rest in the fridge or just on the side? Will be all right.
Well, if you want to make them all tonight, you can just put it off to the side.
Okay.
But if you want to make, like, let's say make more tomorrow, you can just put it in the refrigerator, or you could even put it in you could even wrap it in parchment paper and put it in a Ziploc bag and put it in the freezer and just make regular sugar cookies in a few weeks.
Right before Passover.
That's funny.
Good stuff.
All right, how thin am I going to roll this?
Not.
Gotta
I see people do this. I see them use it. All right, I'll do. Here, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out.
And my guess would be not too thin, because then when you start to shape them, they fall apart.
Oh, that was.
And they hold them.
Yeah.
No, throw a little flour always underneath it in your pot so it won't stick to you.
Whoops.
Oh, yeah.
Just a little sprinkling.
Yeah.
So what are you guys using as a board if you don't have one at home? What are you rolling out on?
I just clean my counter and put flour down.
Okay.
I have like a silicone mat.
Okay.
When I make pie crusts, I moisten my counter and then put a piece of plastic wrap down on the counter, and it sticks because the counter is wet. And then I roll out the dough on that. And then it's easy if you're doing a pie crust to just flip it over the pie.
Okay.
I have patented that technique, so just let me know.
While you're rolling, I have another question. What is some fun Hamantaschen memory that you have? Whether it's like Daddy, you said with the going to the shuk, but maybe baking with family members, or any other memory you have relating to Hamantaschen? Does anyone have any stories?
I have one. I am like a goldfish and I'll eat whatever's in front of me. And I, as a little kid, overate Hamantaschen and they make me nauseous now. So I can't even eat them.
Oh, you don't eat them at all anymore?
No,
Oh gosh.
no. I
Well,
walk.
Thank you for coming to the Zoom.
I want to see how thin Haya's is.
It's pretty thin. Can you see? I don't know.
Yeah, yours looks thin. Mine's
It's probably going to fall apart.
And then are you just going to cut them with a glass?
And so then once you have it out, you just take a glass and you cut them.
I usually put the glass in a little flour.
Uh-huh. So it doesn't
But
stick.
your glass looks pretty sharp.
Yeah, my glass is pretty sharp, and I put a lot of flour on top of the dough, actually, so it's not so sticky.
So about how wide is the glass that you're using approximately? I can't see from here. About 3 inches?
Like a little less than my 4 fingers.
Okay.
Does anyone else have any other Hamantaschen stories?
I always love to bake with my children and with my grandchildren. That used to be the funnest time. We used to all be in the kitchen and do it together. And of course, it never came out right, but that's okay.
Yeah, Leora, you have the stories.
So my father used to make the biggest Hamantaschen that I've ever seen, like this big. And then we would all cut it up and share it, and it would be really fun to eat and delicious.
How you doing, Ellen?
Well, mine are thicker and I didn't get as much flour under the board as I should have, so it's a gooey mess. But that makes everyone's
terrible
spreads
job.
are beautiful.
I'm very bad at spatial relations, so I did not maximize the dough, but.
And so the key, once you make your circles, is to just dip your finger in some water and run it around the edge so that they stick together. And to not put too much filling in, because then it oozes out. So you just want to put a tiny little bit of filling just in the center. And I don't know if you're doing chocolate chips, but it's pretty dry if you just put regular chocolate chips in. So we always put a little bit of jam underneath it to get it a little moist.
That actually sounds like a really good combination.
I really like those beautiful circles she made there.
Yes.
Let's see yours.
It's the cup. It's not me.
Well, mine are sticking to the board, unfortunately. Okay.
What are you filling it with? Like
Raspberry preserves from Trader Joe's.
Oh, and I got blackberry and apricot.
Oh.
If somebody wants to do it dairy, a friend of mine just did Nutella on it. And then on top of they spread Nutella on it. And on top of that, they put some chocolate chips in the middle and then powdered sugar on the top. So,
Oh my God, Nutella, that would be delicious.
yeah. You know who did that is Sandy, our friend Sandy.
Leora, are you making yours now, or?
I was going to, but Tova just woke up.
Oh.
And so I thought I probably shouldn't get started into baking a ton of Hamantaschen when I'm gonna need to go feed her and put her to bed. So I'm gonna wait until she's sleeping.
So you'll be baking them at midnight.
Dad, you have to unmute yourself. You're telling us something.
No, I was talking to myself.
Oh.
I was trying to figure out if that was Dr. J on the cover of Nutella.
Mitchell?
Who's on there? I can't really see because you're all I see is a number 6, I think. Yeah, I can't really make that out. If it's
Kobe.
oh,
Number
all right.
8.
Well, I dated myself. I see number 6. I think of Dr. J.
No, number 8.
Oh, it's number 8. Now, is Nutella milchix or parv?
It's milchik.
It's dairy.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
I think in Israel they make parv chocolate spread because it's made mostly with margarine. That's probably also delicious.
That looks terrific.
These are gorgeous.
Beautiful job.
The truth. Let's
Mine are winning the ugliness contest.
I have to say I've never folded Hamantaschen with so many people watching.
Look at that.
They look beautiful.
Thank you.
How long have you been?
Where does everyone get their Hamantaschen recipes from? That was my other question.
Mine is actually my great grandmother, my father's mother's mother. It's her sugar. It also doubles as sugar cookie recipe when it's not Purim.
Wow.
I add orange juice to mine.
Mm.
Pre-made Hamantaschen.
Yes, Diane.
I've used a lot of different ones throughout the year, but the one that I consistently get good results, Jamie Geller has a really good one. And I double it, and I add a little bit of baking soda in it because her initial one didn't have it. So I like my hummies a little puffier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sherry?
So the shul sent out a recipe. I might have missed the beginning. Is that your recipe or Chaya's recipe?
That's my grandmother's.
Ah,
Since you had it, really.
very good.
You know,
Okay.
it's not that I didn't get it from my parents. It's just one of the recipes I happen to use over the
Mhm.
years.
And that Ellen, that's the one you're using?
Yeah, Miss Michelle and Hamantaschen.
Except Haya's are beautiful and mine look like they were made by a 4-year-old.
As long as they taste good.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
We can't
I
see
like
it.
that
Okay.
trick with wetting the dough, though. I never did that before, and it's really helpful.
You know, it also might be that Chaya's dough's been refrigerated.
Yes.
It's easier to work with.
Ellen, I want to see yours.
She's keeping the camera up.
I know.
Shalom Aleichem has a story, Shalach Manot, when the neighbors give each other Shalach Manot. And I think one of the bakers is not such a good baker. So every time they get that cookies, they pass it on to the next one till it comes back to the original baker.
Well, what's really sad is nowadays, I think a lot of people don't appreciate baked goods, and a lot of times they just get tossed, I think.
Oh, no. All right, so you moisten around the edges and then you put in the filling.
Yeah, just a little bit of filling in the center.
Yes, I'm guilty of overfilling them.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah.
looks beautiful.
You performing?
No. Get on.
Leora,
Yeah.
while people are filling, do you mind using, can we borrow some of your expertise for judging? Because Sarah and I each made one. We picked our best one, and now we want you to see who's you think is prettier. So this is Sarah's.
That's beautiful.
Where? I don't see it. Where is it? Oh, there. I see it.
Okay, and then this one is mine.
It's a family size.
Hey, you learned from me.
The scrap one.
One's manly and one's feminine.
That's funny.
Do you grease the pan or put parchment paper down to bake them?
I use this Baker's Joy. It's like the oil with flour in it.
Uh-huh.
So they don't come out super oily, but it doesn't stick.
Okay.
Love you, Michelle.
I probably should use parchment paper, but I was lazy.
Well, it depends on who's gonna wash the cookie sheets.
They look beautiful.
They look gorgeous,
Yeah.
professional.
Thank you. Hopefully I'll get to see some of you on prom.
Be nice.
That'd be nice. Exactly.
ואני רוצה קרנובר.
So what's everyone's favorite Hamantasch filling?
I like traditional raspberry jam.
I'm a poppy seed girl.
I like the real traditional poppy seed.
Like bar.
Me too.
Apricot.
Yeah, I like raspberry and apricot.
בבייסמנט. בבייסמנט.
Donna, I didn't hear what you said.
Apricot.
Oh, Shauna, what's your favorite Hamantasch flavor?
My mic, the mic doesn't work.
Oh, no, we hear you. We hear you.
Oh, chocolate.
Chocolate. Does anyone else want to share? Some people didn't share their favorite flavor. Everyone has
Apricot.
apricot.
Also strawberry.
Poppy seed.
Apricot with nuts.
Mm. So the Hamantaschen, once you have a tray ready, you can put it in the oven. It says for about 15 to 20 minutes, but you want to keep checking on them because when I did it like that, they got dried out. So maybe check after 10 minutes.
You bake yours at 350 or 325?
What does it say here? I think it said 350.
You told us to preheat to 350. I'd like to find out.
Ellen's like, do not change any rules on me now.
350.
Some people put an egg yolk glaze on top of the dough to make it shinier.
Some people have all they can do to get the things put together. Okay.
Before the shul got into the business of sending everybody Hamantaschen, I remember baking with all the children, my children Hamantaschen, and then it was so much fun. They dressed up in costumes and they were running from neighbor to neighbor, and then you see other people's kids coming to you. That was so much fun. Now the shul took over, it's very commercial.
Yeah, it's just a big list of names.
I think it's very nice that the Chesed Committee, Muriel, Diane, and whoever else you had, they deliver, Gloria, they deliver the Shalach Manas to the people who are in the homes and who are homebound. I think is very nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Our pleasure.
You know, I was just saying to Noah yesterday because we collected the cards that the children made to be delivered with those shalach manot, that the card making and the packaging last year was like the last in-person event really that the shul had before COVID. And
other than Purim itself at the shul, we had Megillah reading.
didn't have
we
Purim.
had a dinner that night, remember?
Oh, that's right.
We did.
Yeah,
And
the dinner break fast. It was the fast, and so we had our dinner because it was what, a Tuesday night, a Monday night.
Yeah, it was Tuesday night. Right.
And I remember the rabbi went around with a bottle, and because you guys had just gotten married, really had not been married that long, so the rabbi went around with a bottle to the tables, and there was the Rebbitzin with the little shot glasses, and what a team they are. And yeah, that was it. That was the last public event. And then we had, McGill reading Poor Morning, and then that was it.
Yeah, that's right. And then, but the event last year, the one in our house, was like, it was so beautiful. Like we had so many people, just like looking at the pictures a couple of weeks later, we were like, I can't believe how many people were in our house in such a small space. Like, would never happen now.
A year later.
A year later, exactly. But yeah, the Purim dinner that night was also really nice, the breakfast. Right, and we had our Purim, the costume contest. Oh, I'm gonna make another plug. Anyone who's dressing up, please take pictures beforehand, put on your costume tomorrow or Thursday morning, send it into the Shul office. We'll keep everything confidential. No one's costume is gonna be outed, so that we can have sort of a virtual photograph contest also this year. And of course, if you're planning on coming to Megillah in person, to please wear your costume also.
And your mask.
Yeah. It's going to be impossible to recognize anyone this year because it's hard enough with just the mask. If people are in costume and the mask, it's like going to be a lost cause. So if I stare blankly at you, don't take it personally.
Just say hello to everybody.
Exactly. Say hello.
Your best friend.
You can't even tell that I'm smiling though when I'm wearing the mask.
You could see it in your eyes.
Ellen, how are yours looking?
I don't want to talk about it.
I'm sure they taste delicious.
The first batch is in the oven. I'm doing better with the second batch.
So make sure they don't get dried out. Check on them after 10 minutes.
I put the timer on for 10.
Yeah.
You know, Ellen, practice makes perfect.
I cannot tell you how many times I've done it.
It's always hard though the first time with a new recipe. You like don't have a feel for the dough.
Yeah.
I'm sure Dan will eat them.
Do you think mine will be fine if I make them tomorrow, put them back in the refrigerator?
Yeah. The dough?
Because I took it out of the freezer.
That's fine. Just put it in the fridge. Just make sure it's wrapped.
Yeah. Because I think it might be a little late to make them tonight.
Well, the real question is who's cleaning up your kitchen afterwards?
We're all going to get samples, right?
I mean, anyone who wants to come over to my house, I'm happy to share some.
Coming.
Yeah.
Tonight?
Sure.
They'll be warm.
There you go.
I want a sample of the pulled beef.
That I don't have tonight.
Are you making that?
No. I toyed with the idea for the Suda, but I don't know. Probably not. We still have to figure out what we're doing for this, like what we're going to eat for the Suda this year.
Well, I just want to say that in Heinens, they have all their Passover stuff.
Really?
That's
So
Yep.
depressing.
Been out there since last week. I'm very upset.
There's a really cool recipe online for caramelized onion Hamantaschen, savory caramelized onion ones. They have tomatoes.
Sounds yummy.
Let's
Yeah.
see, someone will make them for us.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So who's gonna do like a brunch Suda and who's gonna do like closer to Shabbos Suda?
We're gonna do a
Beautiful.
I think we're gonna do a mix. We're gonna do like meat brunch food. I think we're gonna do like a steak and eggs type deal.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. I mean, I hate having meat early in the morning, but
So what are you thinking, at noon? Like lunch?
yeah, probably 11 or noon.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. That's sort of the downside of being married to the rabbi. He's sort of a stickler for the rules that we have to do. So
Well, what time does it have to be done by?
I can't remember. He probably will send out an email with those instructions, but I don't know. I think it has to be done sort of early because the idea is you still need to be hungry for Shabbos. Although I know some people have a custom that when Purim turns out on Friday, they just have their Suda late in the day and then that goes straight into the Shabbos meal. So I've heard that.
I think our shul said that you can't eat it before chatzos, which is 12 something here. And then they also said you can eat it into Shabbos. You can say daven mincha early and then just keep eating.
And that sounds good to me because then you don't have to prepare two different meals.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You just prepare Suda and you're done.
You just take a break for Kabbalah Shabbos in the middle.
Right.
So 2 kiddishes.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I don't know. What is everyone else doing for the Suda?
No idea.
Try to get invited.
That's
Well,
a tough
not
one
this
with
year.
COVID,
Not this year.
right?
Not this year, yeah. I think I can.
Is there something that's required that makes it a Suda as opposed to, anybody know?
You wash and have bread.
Okay.
That's the big thing. And that's where the idea of meat comes in also.
Hold on.
Some people say you should
Just a
have meat
second.
that makes it more festive.
So if I want French toast for my Suda, can I make French toast? Or is that not considered a Suda?
I think that's probably okay. I don't know. I don't make any halachic.
The question there will be if you make hamotzi, if that counts as hamotzi.
Right.
French toast is tricky. I don't know what the answer on that.
Oh, French toast you might not be able to make a motzi on?
Correct.
Oh, I wonder why. The whole thing is bread.
Yeah, but it's like a bread souffle.
I just take a piece of bread.
Some people are very picky about what counts as bread.
Okay.
Sephardim will not even have challah if it has raisins in it.
Okay.
They're lost.
Well, they also don't eat milchiks and fish together, so they can't have a cream cheese and luck sandwich.
Oh no.
That's wow.
That's not Jewish.
Somebody is done.
Oh, and I think yeah.
I'm happy to say the second batch is looking pretty good. Okay.
Let's see, Ellen.
Hold on one sec.
Show us, show us.
I gotta look in the oven, 1 sec. The 10-minute ring. Okay, the ones in the oven are not done. All right, here's the beginning of the second batch. And they're looking a lot better than the first batch.
Wait, we can't see.
Aim your camera.
She's afraid to turn it down or they'll all fall off, right?
What about
Yeah.
Oh.
I can't.
We'll believe you.
When you take the other ones out of the oven, you can show us a finished product.
I can see where an egg wash would really make them beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it also keeps the filling from bubbling over.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
All right, let me see if I can find the recipe that I have and share it in the chat. Otherwise, I can send it out to the shul.
Okay.
If it comes in the chat, how do you save it? Or do you, I mean, if I see it.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe I'm better off sending it.
Yeah.
Somebody, if you don't get it tomorrow, somebody email me it to remind me because I know I'm notorious
Nothing on your mind
at remembering things afterwards.
What's your email?
Oh, that's a good idea. chaya.abelo@gmail.com. Okay.
I appreciate the tip about not too much filling because mine were always overflowing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. See if I can get one or two more.
The history of the Hamantaschen was really interesting.
Thank you.
I know in Italian, orecchio
Yes.
is ear.
Yes, that's what they were. They were a Haman Arekia.
So they should get a teeny bit brown, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and if any of you guys have ideas for a pre-Pesach program, I don't think we're going to do matzah baking together, but I'd love to hear some ideas of what sort of fun programming we could do via Zoom.
Succulent charoset.
Yeah.
I was thinking of the same thing. There's so many traditional charoset.
Yeah,
Or if
that's what.
someone else wants to lead a demo, that could also be a lot of fun.
Say that again. Chaya, say that again.
I said if somebody else wants to lead a demo, I think that could be a lot of fun. I'm like the least experienced cook and baker on here, and I know we have some very talented cooks and bakers in our shul. So if someone would like to lead a demo and teach us, that would also be a lot of fun.
Well, meanwhile, you certainly have beautiful Hamantaschen.
Thank you. All right. Let's see how. Is your first batch ready, Ellen?
I'll check them again in a second. They were almost ready. Good point.
Thank you all so much for coming. I mean, I'm going to stay on it until my
Wonderful.
first batch comes out, but I know it's getting late, but it was really great to see everyone and everyone who shared. And
There you go.
Oh, nice.
Very nice.
Oh, very nice.
Oh, very nice.
They smell good.
Next one's
Careful,
ready.
don't burn your mouth. You want to eat it right out of the oven.
And Joy, are you still in Cleveland or are you in Florida now?
I'm in Cleveland.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you'd left already because I haven't been in shul.
No, I've been in shul, but no, we're still
And
in
you
Cleveland.
haven't been there.
Hmm?
Okay.
We're enjoying the cold weather while we can.
Savor every minute.
Every minute. All right, I'm leaving. Goodbye, everyone.
All right, thanks
Bye.
for
Have a great evening, everyone.
Bye
Thank you,
bye.
guys.
Take care.
Thanks everyone for coming. If you're not baking,
Thank you, Leora. Nice job.
Thank you, Leora,
Nice job,
everyone.
Leora.
Thank you.
Nice job, Chaya.
Are yours done, Chaya, to show one or not yet?
Let's see. I think there's still.
Ellen, your shapes are very artistic and you.
They're
That was
not
very
ready.
kind of you.
I can
Not yet?
also send out a picture.
Okay.
With the recipe.
All right, thank you.
If you want to log
Take
on.
care, everyone. At shul on Friday, if you could ask Rabbi, I'm going to do the outdoor minyan. So do Stuart and I have to come in 2 different cars to do the outdoor minyan? Are men and women different in cars too? I'm not sure how this works.
No, definitely not. There's actually limited space for cars. So if you could consolidate, that would be much better.
Okay.
We're encouraging the people who can tolerate not being in their cars to not be in their cars because it just, we
I
can
know.
accommodate more people that way. But if you're going to be in a car, 1 car is better.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Good night.
Good night,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Good night,
Bye-bye.
everybody. Good to see
Thank you,
everybody.
Chaya and
See
Leora.
everyone. Thank
Thank you.
It was really fun watching you struggle, Ellen.
Yeah.
Good
Bye,
night.
Ellen.
Thanks again, everyone. Thanks for
You're
coming.
brave, Ellen. Thank you.
Thank you. It was so much fun watching and seeing new recipes and getting ideas, and the history was amazing. So thank you again. Chaya, this is great. And Ellen and Chaya, I'll stop by in the morning and pick up
Yes, please.
Hamantaschen.
Ellen, thank you so much for baking along with me. I appreciate
It was really
being here.
nice.
It definitely made it a lot of fun.
Thank
Did.
you. This was great. I wouldn't have done it otherwise.
Okay, good. And Sherry, thank you for the
night.
reminder to send. Oh,
Sure.
out the rest.
Great.
am-
All right.
All right.
Bye. Thank you.
Good night. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Thank you.